Welcome to Estherpreneur, a podcast for entrepreneurs and leaders doing business and life God's way. Each week, we discuss biblical and practical tips to improve your mind, business, spirit, relationships, and finances. Listen along as I speak with special guests on how to thrive in all aspects of life. Hi, I'm Edna. Like many of you, I wear many hats. I'm a military wife, mother, author, certified John Maxwell business and executive coach, trainer, and founder of Favor and Wealth, where we help the good guys win. So tune in as we bring on the light. Well, hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in for another episode of the Estherpreneur Podcast. My name is Edna Harding, and I just want to welcome you guys. In this podcast, we blend timeless wisdom with practical advice that helps you lead a more productive and fulfilling business life. I'm your host, and today we're diving into a topic I know all too well, and that is the constant battle against the clock. Now, I want to say that it's about making the most of every minute without feeling like you're just running from one task to another. Because how many of you guys feel like a hamster on a hamster wheel sometimes? It's never ending, it's always going, and there's always something else that you need to do. That is a story of my life being a mom of young children, a military wife, a servant in the church, and also leading multiple groups and organizations. And then on top of that, servicing my clients. So there's always something I need to get done. And so I'm happy to talk about this topic today because I think it's really, really important that we get some timeless wisdom from the Word of God and how to exactly incorporate these time management strategies from the Bible. Now, I want to say that in Ecclesiastes 3:1, we read that to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. This verse reminds us that there is a right time for everything. And part of our journey is to learn how to identify and make the best use of those moments, correct? So let's get to it. Now, I do got to record this pretty quickly because my time is limited, as kind of funny that I'm talking about time and my time is limited. So, here are the top 9 time saving hacks that help me keep my life on track, allowing me to focus on what truly matters. So, let's go ahead and talk about number 1, the night before planning. Okay, you need to start each day right by ending the previous night with a plan. So, what I do is I typically spend 10 minutes every evening mapping out my next day's task. It's about setting intentions, much like the parable of the builder who doesn't begin construction without first calculating the cost and planning thoroughly. So, being a planner is one of my strong suits, but it's also my downfall because I like to plan things ahead. And with military life, you can't really plan accordingly. It's kind of like an example when we found out a week and a half ago that all of a sudden we were moving in August. That was not in my radar. And so that kind of threw me in for a loop. But by God's grace, I was able to find a school and also find a house. And so it's really part of, asking the Holy Spirit to help you in those areas that you're weak at, because I'm such a control freak. And so when things don't go according to my timeline and according to my time frame, and something catches me off guard, it kind of frustrates me a little bit. All right, so here's hack number 2. You need to prioritize through the Pareto principles. Now, you've probably heard about the 80-20 rule, where 80% of the results come from 20% of our efforts. So, what you need to do is you need to identify tasks that yield the most significant results and prioritize those. And this is practicing wisdom, understanding where your loaves and fishes are that can be multiplied to feed thousands, metaphorically speaking. So, what does that mean? I typically focus on systems. That's me, because I know if I could create a system for everything, it will streamline things a bit. It will take me away from the business, meaning like I don't have to actively do the same thing over and over again. So, the first thing I prioritize is system. The second thing, and of course, let me come back up. My first priority is always God. That's what I typically do. Then after that, I focus on my personal development, ensuring that the girls are ready for school, like family stuff. And then I'm not gonna lie, cooking. used to be a priority for me, but now I'm trying to simplify things, especially in this particular season because the girls are only in school until 3, and I drop them off. By the time I get home, it's like 9, and I have a lot of different things I need to get done for my business, for ministry, and so forth. So a lot of times I try to keep the meals simple by having prep meals already. We use this thing called little spoons for the kids, but moving forward as we go to Alabama, we do need to, I need to change that a bit. The good thing is the kids will be in school a lot longer, so I'll have time to cook, the really full meal. But in the meantime, what I've done is I prioritize the things that are going to give lasting results. And at this time, food isn't one of those things that I focused on because, we could find really good healthy food that are fresh and deliver it to us versus and saves me a lot of time. Does that make sense? So that's what I mean by focusing on things that's going to produce lasting results. And for me, it's all about systems, it's about relationships, it's about God. It's about ensuring that my family is taken care of. All right, number 3, automation tools. Now, just as the Proverbs 31 woman reaches out her hands to the distaff and spindle, let modern tools do the heavy lifting for you. Okay, so you need to utilize technology to automate routine tasks like bill payments, email sorting, and even basic work tasks through apps and software. So, for example, for the podcast, I use Cast Magic. It really shortens the time. Also, one of my other favorite tools is Pictory because it helps add captions to videos and audios and things like that. And also, AI puts actual video of like story scenes for those particular captions. So, those are just a couple examples of automation tools that I utilize to help cut down my time. Number 4, time blocking. Now, scripture teaches us about the importance of specific times for specific activities. So, what you need to do is apply this in your daily life by blocking out time for focused work, kind of like similar to what Daniel does, where he appointed certain times where he prayed on times of the day. I believe he prayed at noon in the morning and also in the evening, 3 times a day. But what it does, it also helps you know that this is a time when I'm going to be focusing on following up with clients. This is a time that I'm going to do. And here's what I have to say. In the beginning, when I first started my business and first started, my even in my career, I time blocked everything from 5 a.m. until like 6 p.m. It's really, really, really like block after block after block. Now, being a mom of young children, being a military wife, and just everything that comes along with all the activities that comes with it, even with church, I don't time block every single hour. I time block chunks, so it's like a modified time blocking where I block certain times, like an hour, a couple hours here, an hour here, to kind of help me streamline my schedule, but also allow me the flexibility to do other things in between. Does that make sense? So that is another hack that I suggest. Number 5, delegate wisely. Moses was advised by his father-in-law, Jethro, to delegate lesser matters to capable men. In your life, you need to outsource smaller tasks and even big tasks, both professionally and personally. It could be as simple as hiring a virtual assistant or using grocery delivery services. Like, I love the fact that I could pull up to a Sam's Club and get the groceries. I don't have to get out. They deliver my groceries in my trunk. That saves me a lot of time versus going in there with my kiddos, looking at the grocery shopping and everything. So that saves me time. Another thing that I did, for example, is although I can do my website myself, um, I outsource it to someone on Fiverr, a contractor, to help me work on updating my website so that it will take me it won't take time away from what I really need to do, which is finish my Battle to Booming group coaching recording program. Does that make sense? So this is an example of how I outsource things that yes, I can do, but I outsource it because it'll save me a lot of time. And right now, my time is so limited with all that I have going on that that is the smartest thing to do. And with the Fiverr guy, it cost me $150 for him to update my website. So I don't have to worry about revamping the whole entire site. And that's again hours and hours and hours and hours of time that I do not have. All right. So delegate wisely. Number 6, say no gracefully. Okay. Jesus knew when to withdraw to lonely places when he need to. And sometimes saving time means saying no to tasks or events that do not align with your goals or energy levels. So part of this, and especially for if you're a believer and you're a servant, you like to serve in every aspect of church, all types of ministries. I had to cut down on certain things. Because my time is already limited, I had to pick and choose which ministries line up with the call and the assignment God has on my life. And yes, I could serve in children's ministry, and yes, I could serve in high school and all that stuff, but that is not the area that is in my gifting. Does that make sense? Although I've done that for many years and I love young people right now. So for example, for me, my focus is on prayer team, women's ministry, and then also the third thing is young adults, because these young adults are also in that stage where they're entering in the workplace, entering into business. And I have a heart for these young people to kind of warn them about the ugly side of business, right? Prior to it happening. So it all lines up with the vision and mission God gave me. And anything else that does not line up with what he called me to do, I say no to. All right. Number 7, set specific times for checking emails and social media. No, this is such a distraction for many people, including myself sometimes. And that's why I'm glad that I only focus on LinkedIn. I don't focus on Instagram. I don't focus on Facebook. I don't focus on YouTube and Twitter and TikTok and all the other things out there, because I know where my audience is. My audience is in LinkedIn. And honestly, it helps me focus my efforts on creating quality content and attracting the right people um, to my feed. And the other stuff is more for entertainment. Got it? So it's more for my personal life. It's more for like keeping up with my friends and family. But ever since I've done that, that really helped me focus on the things that I really need to focus on, which is improving my systems, building those relationships with clients, and ensuring that I have the proper things in place to ensure that our lives continue to move forward and not stay stagnant. All right, number 8, meal prepping. Now, this is something that I'm still working on, just put it this way. I like to, but if I do cook, which is not very often, but when I do cook, I like to cook a lot so that I don't have to cook daily. However, I know that if I do this more, this is really going to ensure that my kids are eating the healthy stuff and not the unhealthy things, especially when I don't have time to cook. And also for my husband, that he's not going to be eating veggie patties all the time. And that kind of started because he went vegetarian for about, I think, a year. And then he started doing it again. And I'm not really a good vegetarian cooker. So I'm like, yeah, I can't do all the fancy vegetarian chef things. So that's why it was easier, but it kind of became a habit. And so I got to get better at this for sure. So I do love to cook. It's just very time consuming. And I'm hoping with a new move, I'll be able to cook more because I'll have more time. All right. And number 9, reflect and adjust. At the end of the week, what you need to do is reflect on what tasks took more time than expected. Just as David reflected on his actions and adjusted his plans, you need to use this particular practice to refine your approach and plan better for the coming weeks. And that's a way for you to really continue to improve. It's always about continuous improvement, right? So there are times when I'm like, oh my gosh, like for real. Like I remember I had a headache for some reason one time, and I'm like, okay, I need to go lie down for a second. And I started watching like a Netflix series, and all of a sudden I wasted like 2 hours of my time because I was taking a little break and I got caught up in like a really, those shows that are like, oh, I gotta see what happened next. I gotta see what happened next. Yeah, this is the reason why I don't watch Netflix or I don't watch those series, is because it's addictive. And so I caught that about a month ago, and I'm like, nope, not gonna do that again. So I specifically did was I removed the Netflix app from both my iPad and my cell phone, and I only put it like download it again during the weekends. That's when I like binge on, just not binge, but actually watch shows that are more for fun, not for learning, if that makes sense. So that's another example. Well, there you have it. There's 9 biblical and practical hacks to help you master your minutes and fulfill your God-given purpose in your business and in life with less stress and more satisfaction. I know this just scratches the surface. I have many more, but like I said, I want to keep it nice, short, and sweet for you guys, especially because I know y'all are busy people just like myself. So I hope you implement these strategies and see how they transform your daily routine. Thank you for tuning in to the Estherpreneur Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend and subscribe for more insights and guidance. And please connect with me on LinkedIn, Edna Harding. That is where I post on a regular, and that's also how I engage with my audience. And also, if you don't want to do that, you could also email me at edna@favorandwealth.com. You can reach me on my website, favorandwealth.com or estherpreneur.com, which those are my 2 sites that I regularly communicate on. You could also join my mailing list. I have a newsletter that I send out on a monthly basis. It's called Ascend, and it's for holistic business life success. So if that's something that interests you, go to my website, click on resources, and the newsletter sign up is there. You can also sign up on my LinkedIn page. Now, remember that every minute counts, so make it count for something great. Until next time, my friends, keep shining. God bless you, and see you on the next episode. Thanks for joining us this week on Estherpreneur. Make sure to visit our website, favorandwealth.com, for more information on our services. While you're at it, if you found value in this show, we'd appreciate a rating on iTunes, or if you simply tell a friend about the show, that would help me out too. Also, check out my book, The Ugly Side of Sales, available on Amazon, where I share 7 of my secrets on how to win and grow business the right way. Until next time, keep shining.